some reason it's not letting me pause it. I don't know what's going on with that, but it must be some kind of bug. So we've got PK, Davidge Holt as the Koreans. I'm the Teutons. And I'm up against Mongols, Ned Nederlander, and Dark, almost namesake, who's the Japanese. Now, as you can see, first of all here, we've got the stable start, and I've set my scouter here. I think Ned made a mistake here in attack moving rather than attacking my base, and unfortunately he's followed my scout. So my scout's rubbish. I didn't manage to get a villager there, unfortunately, because the Teutons are terrible. Teutons are my second least favourite civ. Really can't stand them. They're sort of rubbish at sort of kind of everything. Slow paladins, no siege rams, terrible archers, but there's some aspects in them that are pretty good. They're quite well rounded, so they're quite durable. So I'm coming in with the paladin rush here on Ned the Mongol. As you can see, these two here are going infantry start, so they'll be relatively static in comparison to me and Ned here. So it's about us to set the pace for the early part of the game. Now I've come in quite well here. I've got quite lucky, and I've entered his base right exactly where his house builders are. So I'll make short work of them. He's also made another mistake with the scout, and he's followed my unit to my base and back again, which is a crucial error really. You need to take some villages at the start to slow down that rush. So I'm in on him here. He's obviously got camels, which is the preferred unit to build against my paladins. And in situations where I barrel them into corners like that, they will get pretty swiftly taken care of. But generally, I'm attempting to try and get in here with my fog of war. So I can sort of see what's going on to an extent there. You can see me targeting the villages as I'm going, checking back on my base, make sure I've got no idle villages. And there. Just to see, obviously Red's noticed that Blue's in a bit of trouble, so he's coming over to help. A useful tactic at this point will be to transfer your rush over to here to try and pick off some of his villagers at the back of his base. As he's gone infantry, which is relatively immobile, you'll be able to run straight past him. And having seen that Red is sending villagers over to me, units over to me, he's coming, my ally here. He played a great game, by the way, as you can see as it unfolds. Coming over to put some pressure on Red, make him think twice about that. My paladins are wisely hacking away at the building site, which is good. We still managed to pick off a few villagers that are coming out here. We've got a few out here now, so he's probably safe from this point on. I think that's the end of my rush there. So I'm trying now to learn from my previous mistakes and put on a high pressure high castle here to try and pressure him in. Looking over here at Red, you can see that he's intercepted their market, the market build from purple there, which is always a good tactic. So as you can see, we are now, and exchanges have been met. I've taken some advantage here, hopefully trying to realise this. I don't know what's happening there really. There's quite a few other villagers going on there. This is me trying to concentrate on my forward base here. Yeah, I'm getting down to them. Those walls there are a misclick. That's me pressing BW instead of BE, building a few walls there. Slightly incongruous with the actual theme of the game, building walls around your houses, but there we are, we're not all Donald Trump. So as you can see, I'm building up my halberdiers here to try and counter his camels. Sending in my paladins would be a nightmare in this situation because I'm cautious of my gold. So just a quick pop check, I'm at 104, Ned's at 48, PK's at 94, and Dark is at 90. So you can see the effect of my rush there has sort of slowed the Mongols down. They are quite slow anyway to get going. I find whenever I play the Mongols, sometimes I can just be washed over by units at an early stage of the game. I'm not able to get my big powerhouses out from the castle and the siege engines. Their camels aren't brilliant. So Red is coming over and reinforcing Blue quite heavily here, because he sees that I've got a position on him. What I'm also doing at this point now is I'm trying to open many fronts. I'm ahead on numbers, so it's good for me to do that. So I've got a castle going on here in the middle to protect any central raids. I'm also building around here as well to try and halt the growth of their market. As you can see, you'll shortly be sending over a villager to try and set up a market there, not knowing that I'm here, which is always good. Moving over to purple and red, they're having a good old ding dong here. I feel for Dark in this. The Japanese are. I do like the Japanese actually. pretty strong in a lot of areas, and cavalry archers as well, which I often don't use. But against the Koreans, it's not the most ideal civ, as onagers are difficult to counter when there are war wagons there which take apart the archers and such, but the samurai do a good job of them there. So as you can see, we're going in for a ding-dong here. Where am I looking at the moment? See, I'm trying to set up my other bases. Unfortunately, what happens is his camels drag my paladins away, and then he moves in with his Mangudai here to take out my halberdiers. Does a very good job of that, actually. He manages to address the balance here if you go and see where he is. He's at 76 now. So the market's going up. I've managed to stall his market building here. I'm trying to put some pressure onto the size of his base. Mongols are a pretty mobile civ though, so generally quite well able to deal with these sort of directional pressures. I really hate the Teutonic Knights. They are very slow, but unfortunately they do counter camels quite well. Really, it's a waste of building for me the castle for Teutonic Knights are taken apart by pretty much every unit that fires arrows. So I'm trying to build in these bombard cannons here. I'm not really sure about what to build with the Teutons really, but I find that the bombard cannons sometimes get an early shot in on the onagers and minimise that. I'm not doing a particularly good job here. This isn't where my strengths lie, to be honest, in these forward scenarios. I'm better at strangling opponents. So he's trying to build out here on this side with his halberdiers, and I'm just not letting him do it. Putting castles to try and box him in. And this is halting his market development. As you can see now, I don't think he actually knows I'm there. Let's see, shall we? Yeah, I don't think he's seen me yet. He might have seen me there. Look, he sent a Mangudai. I don't think he's seen the extent of it. So he's trying to build some siege here. By the way, Purple sent me quite a hefty amount of food here. I seem to burn through my food incredibly rapidly. I think that's me spanning halberdiers and panicking. Using lots of trebs to improve this. Soaking up some pressure here, some of the early gold ones coming up in this base, really burnt through my initial gold. So as you can see, he's struggling a little bit over here, purely because I think he's been sending resources over to me. He sees I've got pressure in. Here I am sending in, he's built an initial market there, which is not good enough really for Red's purposes. I'm just trying to come across and prohibit his growth of units. Now, unfortunately, I should really have considered building stables here so I can defend against some units that come out. I haven't actually supported these with any actual units, which is interesting, but there we go. As you can see, I'm just sending in raids here around the sides to try and slow them down. I've identified that Purple's in need of help here, so I'm sending in these paladins. His army here is not very well equipped to deal with paladins at all. From a few halberdiers that I've got down here. Essentially, I'm able to get quite a few hits in here before they take me down. And this really does slow Red's assault. And bear in mind, Red's already been able to help out Blue, so he's becoming stretched now, I imagine. It's resources. Yeah, he's starting to run out of gold. Me, as always, I'm flatlining on all resources at all points, which is good to an extent, but not really able to support myself very well here. Just while I get my economy set up, I'm trying to distract some raids around here. Not doing any great damage really, but just harassing. See, I've got a few villages here, but just harassing their wood and food, which will come to fight them later on. These paladins in here are here to defend Purple's base. He's just temporarily in a bit of trouble here. He's been overrun by Red's army, which was designed against the Koreans, not really against the Teutons, so I'm having good success here. Meanwhile, holding this castle. Just holding in here, making occasional raids in on his gold pile there. He's got this one here, which is harder to get hold of. And I think I'll let him take this now, just because it's too expensive for me to maintain all these funds now. So as you can see, we're over here. I managed to take out a few of the onagers. There. And these trebuchets are now next. It's got a very archer heavy army there. army there, which isn't great against paladins. As you can see, I can take these down. Just chucking in the odd irritating bombard tower to slow him down a bit here. This is already gone. Unfortunately, yeah, it's not going there for me. Trying to distract him here. To little to no avail. With these bombard towers, I'm trying to sort of quash his resources. I was hoping to get that one gold, maybe I should have put that one tile closer for the range. Is it 10? I wouldn't have made it, I don't think. In purple, looking at his, he's in a very strong position for resources. I'm concentrating on setting up my economy. Blue round the back here is holding at the moment, just trying to clear out his flanks. Perhaps I should be putting more pressure on here, but my resource situation isn't brilliant at this time. Thanks very much. More concentrating on trying to make sure that he isn't compromised, because he's a valuable ally to have here in the Korean there. These halberdiers are absolutely mullering this house here, smiting ruin upon his empire. I actually missed that in the game. It's a stone, but I don't think I got anything at all. Thankfully, he's now got kind of economy coming in to push back. He's got lots of stuff that hasn't so much gold. It's incredible. Just me? Okay. Dark is now struggling for resources. We've been hassling him here. He's not really been able to get things up. If I get this tower up, it just stops him from getting this up in the end. Oh, that is so close. Literally one more hammer to have done that. But there we go. So he's still holding pin here, but now we're starting to mass Monagers. I am still holding this position here, although my economy isn't particularly happy at the moment still again. Got good pop, got my farms going, so it should be coming in shortly. As long as I can hold for a little bit longer to get things moving. At this point I'm coming through with the paladins here on red, just trying to wipe them out. So the purple will start to get a foothold. The Koreans are devastating if you allow them to build up this Korean death army. The Onagers, halberdiers and war wagons really just flatten everything in its path. It has to be massed for it to be effective. Okay, we're looking good there, that's cleared away now, and now purple can start to play in the game more. Blue is pushing me quite heavily now. His resources are paying off. Managing to get good on that wood and gold there. So he's doing. I enjoy them, they're one of my favourite cities. Once you've got them up and running, Mangadai with rams and Onagers behind them can be a very, very dangerous force, particularly as it's quite expensive to harass and build paladins against them. So he sent some camels into my base here to try and disrupt my economy. He's found it pretty well. That farm and wood is perhaps a little bit too far forward. Should maybe have walled off. He's Swiss cheesing me here, he's going through quite dramatically. I'm having to fall back and try and hunt. This is why it's important to get this forward base. When you do get pushed later on, you do have an opportunity to come back at them at a later date with your main base. You have a chance to regroup and push back again. So I'm just trying to really slow red down here so the purple has a chance to get across and help me out, which I think he's on his way to do. He sees my plight. But really, if this was a 1v1 right now and I hadn't have, I was in this position, I'd be in a lot of trouble. He's able to push out quite well on me here. And these Mangadai are awkward when they're massed at such high levels. I just think the sound is perhaps a bit high here. So he's helping me out with resources and slinging across some of these war wagons for me now. Which which makes all the difference. Not sure if I actually see this here. This is the importance here right now. This is a demonstration of why it's important to guard your economy. As you can see, this is some Mangudai coming in here. Really, he wants to be over here somewhere so that he can interrupt the trade. But I don't think he was watching, so I was able to take down his Mangudai quite quickly with castle, 2-ton castle bonus as well. With the 8+5 range is helpful. Yeah. Thankfully, these war wagons have arrived now, and it's allowed me to build behind it, move forward with my paladins. And this has given Purple the chance now as well to expand out into red. So going on from here, you can see that he's tried to put forward castles on my base, which I've luckily managed to repel. My economy's starting to kick in now. You can see it's taking up quite well there. Gold isn't brilliant. It's a bit late getting the market going, I think. Favoured some units instead at the time. I'll get to later on in the game. I've managed to push back blue now, so I'm fairly confident that I'm going to got him on the ropes. I did actually lose those castles, which was a shame just to those 2 errant rounds, just me not paying attention. Purple is reinforcing the fact that we've got this. This is sort of the advantage. Both these players here on the other team are good players. This is sort of the advantage of good teamwork in that I needed the war wagons there to assist against the camels. You needed the paladins against the trebuchets. And together that's made a lot of difference. We're kicking on nicely now. My economy's looking healthy. Purple, it was fantastic, to be honest. He's on full pop. He's got a great economy too. Really together we're putting the hurt down on blue now. Red has suffered from the kickbacks that we gave him earlier on. And as you can see, Purple is being a bit cheeky here and sneaking up on the outside with the bombard towers onto the wood. See the advantage of a team game, helping out your opponent with the resources and units, and also taking advantage of flanking opportunities to minimise their market growth. Putting castles down here to create second fronts, especially when you're ahead on units, can be greatly beneficial. Purple's really in on red now. Not particularly great for red here. As you can see, this front gold here now is under a lot of pressure. Red is short on gold. This gold pile here has run out. So he's in a position now where he needs gold. And the earlier pressure put on here really slowed him down. So see the importance there of putting pressure on resource areas. This is always my main front here because of the gold these water versions really. Managed to finally notice that he's destroyed most of my second front here with his rams without me replying to it, which is a shame. Red is here sending out on the Trebs, which is never good against the Koreans. I hate playing against them because they are that kind of range is deadly. So from this point on, we're in the ascendancy, I think, from here, myself and Purple, having weathered Red's early storm and Blue's pushback. As you can see, Blue's got his economy going. Red probably doesn't have quite. Oh no, he's got some up here as well, actually. Got his farms going. These are up a lot earlier. And yeah, I mean that's how it's done, everyone. Lots of town centres, easily defended. Walls in front, although he's obviously chopped through that wall now. Yeah, that's an all-out villager war there. Excellent. So what I'm doing right here now is I'm building up again. I've got a surplus of stone. One of the things I never used to do when I played a few years ago was I never used to mine stone, which was always a problem because if you ever lost your forward base, you wouldn't go back up again very quickly. I always make a point now of trying to gather as much stone as possible, particularly in the middle part, and reinforce any gains you make with castles. So what I'm doing here now is I'm again widening the front to try and give blue something more to think about. I'm able to go over here and create a middle here again against red and his resources here. As you can see, we're right in on them here. What would have been useful, I mean, the Teutons, they lack archers. I suppose you could do it with siege to an extent, but I always like to try and bisect the two here with archers. Just try and pick off, because people often use this area to create their resources, and if they don't defend it properly, it can really affect their performance in the game. I'd really like to use bombard towers. I've got 1 or 2 here, but this is a purist and moves against them. So he's now obviously focusing on trying to stop this being built here because he feels a threat against the market. This is allowing me to focus more in the middle here and destroy his castle and his defence. And again, we're in here now as well. There's not too much left in the game. Just taking to my right. Yeah, there we go. That's the game. I hope you enjoyed watching this. This was a more dynamic than a 1v1. Oh, brilliant. God bless Age of Empires HD. Thank you very much.